if you're the drone pilot, it's fun, but it made me a little nauseous even trying to watch it.
Yeah.
And I think it's
then
annoying.
the accuracy piece was like you couldn't even see the disc half the time. Not only that, it was loud. Like it was so loud that you could barely hear the commentators.
Well, that's not too bad.
Hey.
Wow.
I wasn't going there.
That's a whole nother show entirely, but
Hello, everyone, and welcome in to the Players Meeting, a Win Dummies production. I'm your host, Lucas Deal. Tonight's show, we're going to look at results and thoughts of the All-Star event that happened this weekend. We're going to dive in deep and look at the top 5 sleepers in 2024, more opinions, more debates, plus a look at our picks for the Survivor League and the Chess.com Invitational. I'm extremely excited to get this going, and of course, I got my boys with me. Hello, gentlemen. How are you this evening? And of course, we got the one-time world champ, Chris Smith, a.k.a. Smitty, and Mr. Ronnie Unruh, the Step Pup Master, and the 0-time world champ. We're going to rock with that all year long. We're never changing that intro until you change that in June.
Until June.
Exactly. Exactly.
Old Kale better bring it to Emporia. That's all I'm saying.
I would be more worried about Joe Revere out there.
Nah,
he's a stud too.
Hope he's not 50 yet.
He's all right.
Well, boys, disc golf is officially back. We had the All-Star event. I'm super excited to start talking disc golf with you a lot more often. So let's kind of get into what's popping, what's been happening around the world of disc golf. Let's start field events. Let's talk about that performance by the FPO and MPO. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, what was the most impressive thing to happen?
713 feet.
Yeah, AB all day.
I didn't realize he threw his very first throw 700 feet until I watched the highlights. So yeah, but 713, man, that is a big number. And Albert Tom was like 640 or something like that. 40 something. So I mean, that's a long ways as well.
60 some feet he won by. Yeah.
And then
he's a freak.
Our little red-haired girl throwing 500, Ezra.
Yeah, she's not from Europe.
No, she's
just wanted everyone to know that.
Montana or something like that.
I don't know the
somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it is U.S. based.
But man, she can really throw far. I don't know if she has any other disc golf skills. I hope she does because that'd be fun to have another person in there banging.
Yeah, she's young too, right?
Oh yeah, 16? She's like 16 or 17, something like that.
Yeah,
super awesome. Yep.
And I only watched highlights of the long drive. I was busy in the morning. I did watch some of the accuracy. Alden Harris was pretty amazing at that last, what we don't call it, that last stage, I guess.
Station.
Everybody else was flicking, and he threw those
turnovers,
mid-range or putter anhizers. Those were beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, super nice.
A lot of people really struggled with that station too.
You know, what was weird is watching Goose hit 85 trees and then watch Dickerson step right up and just put 8 of them in the bullseye in a row or something like that. But I don't know if that was true accuracy though, man. It seemed like the tree.
I didn't like it.
The trees were super close to the tee. I don't know if it was really shot shaping or not because everything was one angle shots. There was no bending a disc and no controlling the landing or the speed. It was all flat down there. But yeah, I felt like that was pretty slow and boring to watch, in my opinion.
I did too. I didn't care for the accuracy. I thought the putting was really not very good either. I didn't like the stations. It seemed it wasn't very exciting to me, except for watching James Proctor and the Mar Weasel just go nuts. I mean, it's fun when someone putts and they never miss. So that was pretty fun. But other than that, I mean,
Own was amazing as well, I
Yeah.
felt. And I'm with you. There was a couple of those stations that they had a really hard time lining up their putt through those trees. It was like the angle was super duper weird. I guess, which is what they wanted, was to make it challenging, but I don't know, man. And I couldn't watch the ladies. They were not good.
Well, Owen
Not
was
good
good.
at all.
Did you watch Owen? Like, she won at the first 4 stations. I mean, she didn't miss one in the finals. And she didn't like line up, took forever like the men to get that angle. She just fired, bro. I mean, she was sick with it.
Yeah, but even she didn't make any of the goof from the goofy stations, right?
Yeah.
Those last 2 stations were just kind of goofy golf. I mean, it really depended on your putting style, whether your putting style was conducive to the actual angle of the trees. So I mean, like I said, it was fun watching Marweed, and it was fun watching Proctor and even Rick to some degree. And obviously Own what she did on the actual true putts. Those stations were pretty amazing. But other than that, the only thing that I found very exciting with the field events was AB, and that's unfortunate because I was kind of looking forward to all of it.
I really feel like they could have taken all 3 aspects of it and had different cameras on different long drive, accuracy, putting, and do more of a production where you're cutting to this, you're cutting to that. Maybe you're seeing stuff in replay. I don't want to watch a bunch of people drives or 2 turned over and going out of bounds, or Cat Allen hitting a tree 2 inches out of her hand on a putt. I don't need to see that. I want to see the action. So maybe that's something that would be much better post-production.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'd serve them better to do that in a post-produced format. They could have more people participate. We only see the good stuff, and let's not let these poor all-stars look bad in front of the camera.
I do like the fact they brought in people that weren't part of the event. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So Marweed wouldn't have been there without that. Those Lynn's girls putted, Ezra. I thought that was cool.
Well, you couldn't have a legitimate all-star putting contest and not have the best putter maybe on the planet there, So good on them for inviting them extra people, because that did add something to the event, I thought.
And then last thing I want to talk about is that drone during the accuracy. Get that thing out of there. Am I right? That was terrible.
Or the distance. I don't want to see that, man. I'd
even
rather
in the
see
distance, yeah.
I'd rather see catch cam and T cam working simultaneously on a split screen, or throwing catch. But yeah, that drone was garbage, dude. Nobody wants to see that. I mean, if you're the drone pilot, it's fun, but it made me a little nauseous even trying to watch it.
Yeah.
And I think
and then the accuracy piece was like, you couldn't even see the disc half the time. Not only that, it was loud. Like, it was so loud that you could barely hear the commentators.
Well, that's not too bad.
Hey.
Wow.
I wasn't going there.
That's a whole nother show entirely, but
So
yeah, get the drones out. I'm not a fan.
Let's change subject from disc golf to basketball a little bit. Did you guys watch Steph and Sabrina? She gave that dude all that he wanted. He had to make the last 2 in the last station to beat her.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why that doesn't translate to disc golf and putting, and maybe it does. I mean, Owen didn't get walked by everybody else, by the men, but all the rest of them got walloped. But this chick could outshoot any of the guys.
Yeah, I mean, Sabrina had 26 points, tied with 3 others on the men's side that were the top score of the men's side. I mean, Steph would have, of course, won.
She had the same score as Dame, didn't she?
Yeah, Dame.
That's all you need to know right there.
Yeah, the winner of the 3-point shootout. That's crazy.
Sabrina's on the same level in her discipline like Owen is in hers, though. I mean, they might be the best in the world at what they do. I think those two, like a 3-point with the men, and same with the putting. Owen can putt with anybody on the planet, and obviously Sabrina showed that she definitely can shoot with anybody.
Yeah, I mean, she said afterwards, if you can shoot, you can shoot. It doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy. It just matters the heart that you have and wanting to be the best you can be. Any little kid watching, even me as a grown man watching, I'm just like, damn, like that's inspiring stuff. As you
I
said,
think there's other women who can shoot fantastic also. Take Caitlin Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She can fill the bucket. And, the pool that we're drawing from for women's basketball is larger than the pool we're drawing from disc golf. And I mean, there's no nice way to say it. A lot of the women maybe aren't the best athletes, and the basketball players are fantastic athletes, a lot of them. So,
Yep.
maybe that's the difference. But I'm just shocked that the putting was so atrocious in the putting competition.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And obviously it's not this highly physical skill, right? I mean, you and I stood right next to Owen in Flagstaff. She is a little bitty tiny person. That's a little bitty lady. And she just gets up there and just rocks it in there, dude. She's so good.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
She is. I mean, she scored 42 points against Catrina Allen's 29. She won by a lot. Like I mentioned in that final round, she won by the fourth station. I'm just thinking she could have even scored more if she was really, truly locked in after she already knew she won. On the men's side, final, Marweed scored 54. Proctor scored 42. So, I mean, right there, just as much as Owen in that final. Owen is definitely in a league of her own when we're talking putting on the women's side. There's no one even close.
I think she's clearly the best putter on the female side of the tour.
Sarah Gilpin is like a really good putter too. So maybe she should have been there kind of like Marweed was for the putting, because I think she's probably one of the better women besides Owen. Could she stack up against the other man? And I mean, she beat quite a few of them. So
yeah, she can definitely play with them for sure.
First, before we jump into results, let's talk conditions and how that really just put a damper on everything in my mind.
I wouldn't have wanted to play. It looked miserable. I'm sure those guys were worried about slipping and falling. I don't know what's going on there now, if it's raining or not, but it's going to take quite a bit of sun and wind to dry that place out before 100 people smack through there 3 times.
Yeah. And it doesn't look like that's the type of course that gets a lot of sun with all those trees, right? So, I mean, I wonder what they're going to do. Already, it didn't look like it was the most put together place yet, right? There were still a lot of dirt, a lot of muddy spots from all the new construction, which, I mean, it's going to be good. I just don't think it was probably ready this year, in my personal opinion.
I mean, haven't they been using that course? I mean, Throwdown's been there forever, right? I mean, did they add a bunch of stuff or change some stuff? I guess I don't understand why the
revamped,
construction areas.
Some redesign. I don't remember the old course having turf tees like this one does. Maybe it did.
I'm not familiar with the old course enough to know any better.
From what we saw, I think holes 1 and 9 were the same as what they had been. I think it was 18 and 1. And then I don't think any of the rest of the holes were the same. Now, they were playing a safari this weekend, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched some of the skill stuff, and then I watched a few of like the replay stuff, but I hardly watched anything live this weekend. It was just hard to watch.
I watched every second of all of the men's action. I watched the majority of the women's, and there was a lot of times where it was just hard to watch, unfortunately, because of the conditions. And I felt bad for them out there because they're not being, showcased the way they should be. Those are our best players, and unfortunately, the course just wasn't in the condition to allow them to do so.
Yeah. Well, let's look at results here.
Jessica Weese played pretty well, and she, I think, won the female accuracy. Getting a single on hole 3 by Henna, which kind of a bummer they didn't catch it going in the basket, but we got to see the drive and got to see a reaction. But I mean, let's be honest, Henna's got a cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Weese has both spins and throws pretty far. Hokom is really limited and probably on the downslide of her career. And my sleeper was hot garbage.
Yep, she didn't play well. She was just off. And of course, different players play differently in those type of conditions. Some are better in rain than others. Catrina definitely did not have her A game this weekend. Ella and Allie killed it. 10 down.
Ella was great. I watched a lot of that match.
Ella's was good. Allie did her part, and the other two just never got anything going. I mean, look at all that red.
Missy and Holyn took care of business.
Yeah, well, Owen's putting was absolutely atrocious the last 9 holes. Hailey was pretty much bad all day. Holyn was a superstar the whole round. Drug Missy all over that course. Missy didn't do much, and they went 9 under. 2 threes. 2 threes on the big hole.
After doubles, Team Missy was up 2-1. And then let's talk men's doubles. Robot Chicken, Matty O, Cole Redalen, and Goose.
I mean, the conditions just made all of it so difficult to watch. It just wasn't exciting because of the way the conditions just wouldn't allow them to do much. I mean, even when they were making birdies, it was pretty uneventful, really.
This is a shocker to me. The Robinson brothers put a little spanking on Barela and Rick.
Well, let's be honest. Rick was pretty rough all weekend. Ricky did not have – it wasn't typical Wysocki golf. And the Robinson boys, I mean, 7 was basically a perfect score. Hole 5, I think I saw one person. That was the cliff-to-cliff hole. I think the only person I saw make it across the cliff all weekend was Ezra in singles. Yep. I don't think I saw anybody else make it across the cliff.
Rick and AB rely on power to make up strokes on people, and can imagine trying to throw as hard as those dudes do in that stuff. They probably had to dial it back about 900 points.
Heimburg and Proctor took care of business against 2K and Buhr.
Another, 7 down, like Ronnie said. That's probably about as good as you're going to get. Although they missed hole 1.
Didn't even have a putt at hole 1, if I remember right. Well, I think one of the two of them almost threw it in on 5. I don't know, but yeah, 7, they were impressive. Proctor was really, really good all weekend.
Yeah, he had a good weekend.
I love watching that guy play golf.
He's a good player, man. They were tied after the doubles rounds. So starting with the women, Henna took care of Allie, and Sarah Hokom took care of Jessica Weese. Smitty, there is your sleeper, Catrina Allen. I think she was still in bed because, she was definitely sleeping. My stink of the week was going to be Macie. Macie had a fine weekend.
She played fine, yeah. She had a couple of highlights on the singles round there on hole 1 and hole 3 that last day. A couple throw-ins with a forehand. They were pretty cool.
Yep, and Ella played well all weekend as well. Even to Hailey King's +2. Holyn, probably the standout for the weekend. You guys agree?
Oh, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Ladies MVP.
Yeah,
for sure.
3 down over Mertsch, and then Gannon took care of Own, and that will end up making Team Own 3, Team Missy 6. Men's side, Goose got Robot Chicken.
If you guys weren't watching this, Dickerson threw it away. Dickerson made a terrible layup on the last hole, laid up too far back. He laid up so far back he couldn't get over. And Goose goes forehand to 8 feet and wins the match.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wow. Ezra over Proctor.
I think Ezra's really good.
Maybe underrated?
Yeah.
Because he's in maybe Isaac's shadow a little bit, but dude, he's played well.
Quick, what do you think Ezra's rated?
1038.
Yeah, I think he's in the 1030s.
Yeah, like 10. I think it was either 1037 or 1038. I was looking at this today. It's like, wow, that's pretty. I mean, he's an all-star for a reason. The dude's really good.
AB got Cole at the end there.
Oh, how'd that work out for you, Lucas?
Come on, that's what happened at the end?
That last hole is really hard. It's really easy to go OB off the tee, and if you don't get into a good position, it's really hard to get up the hill and onto the green.
He wasn't safe on his second shot, so he was putting 4 from the drop zone. But the 5 on 9, that's going to happen occasionally. I mean, you're either going to the best players are usually going to make 3 or 5 on that hole. The 8 though, that of course that's not on the regular golf course, and I'm really happy because that was a garbage hole, especially in those conditions. It was almost unplayable for those guys. The fact that we look over here and see Kyle Klein with a 3, that's a disgusting 3.
easily what propelled him forward there to win by 2. Gannon and Ricky tied +4. Just not a good showing.
Bad. They both. I was for sure Rick was going to make his putt on the last hole to put the pressure on Gannon. He missed bad, and then Gannon missed the putt that I thought he would have drained. So that was the final match. I don't know if you watched or not, Lucas, but that was the final match, and it ended on airball face mask.
I wonder if Gannon's going to struggle without his PA3.
He couldn't have looked more disinterested to me.
Okay.
Everything about his body language. I mean, he looked like he couldn't get out of there fast enough, dude. He looked like he did not want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see that too.
And his caddy was the most annoying person I've ever seen.
Is it that dude that was on coverage all year last year that stares into the camera? Yeah, okay. yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, we're not there to see you, buddy. We don't care about you.
Yeah.
Calvin got Isaac.
Look at that finish, man.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's Struggleville by Isaac.
I think they were just all done and ready to be gone, and
I don't
so
blame
happy they didn't have to go into extra holes.
Yeah, honestly, I don't blame any of them. I think it was a little bit of a wasted weekend with the weather. I know we talked a little bit before the show that we didn't really find out anything that we wanted to find out. I mean, other than Holyn, she really showcased herself. I don't think anyone else really stood out.
James Proctor had a pretty decent weekend. He threw a lot of really good shots and made some killer putts.
Isaac was unbelievable in the doubles round. He carried Ezra big time in that doubles round. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it was Holyn and Proctor. Those were the two people that kind of stood out the most to me too.
Team Isaac won. Beat Team Calvin.
Yeah, I like the idea of the whole thing. I just think it needs revamped. I think even before the event, these two had no idea what was going to go in, what was going to happen as the tournament played out. I think it was just a series of bad feelings that just put the weather on top of it, not knowing how the formats work, not knowing who's going to play who, everything I think just culminated into they were just fighting that crap for 3 days. I think they were just done.
Yeah, they got to do a little bit more planning ahead of time for sure. And what do you think about the venue itself?
The property itself looks like it's going to have some pretty killer stuff, some cool fairways, lots of hills, of course. And we've all seen Throw Down the Mountain, so we know the property is going to be cool. I'm sure what Paul and Dylan and whoever else has had a hand in designing is probably more Pro Tour level than what Throw Down the Mountain was, but we don't know because we don't know what the course is. The weather ruined what could have happened, so we'll find out this weekend, I think.
Yeah, I think the course is cool. I think that my biggest problem with the venue is it doesn't seem very conducive to fans to me.
Oh, that's true.
It seems like it's going to be really hard to put a gallery in there for both the event, and obviously there was no gallery with the way the weather was for the All-Stars, but it doesn't seem very good place to go watch golf at.
Let's kind of jump gears here into another segment. Let's do our top 5. Last week we had a winner. His name was Smitty. This week we're going to try to get a new winner. Yeah, after the math was actually calculated, Smitty did win, but we're going to do a new top 5 this week. It's going to be the top 5 sleepers of 2024. Beforehand, like last week, you guys sent me who you thought the other would pick. You also sent me your picks as well. And the rules stipulated that the player had to be under 1030 rated to be considered a sleeper. And so y'all went through, found 5 different players apiece, and let's go through them.
Want me to go first since I won?
You got it. Winner's ball.
All right. My number 5, I went with Brody Smith. I think Brody hasn't won on tour yet. I think Brody could break through. Brody's got both spins. Brody's got a bomb. Brody's got a good, decent putt. I think the right course, he could win. He had a shot at DDO last year.
I don't hate that. So I follow Brody on some social medias. I actually just watched a video over the weekend where he was talking about his plan for 2024. And like the main thing he said is like, I'm not worried about form anymore. I don't care. I'm going to do it my way. I've been throwing Frisbees my whole life. I know how to do this. That's how I'm going to approach 2024. So I kind of like that, actually.
Yeah. That's a good pick. That's fun.
My number 5. Going to go back to me and Smitty's era here. Scott Stokely. Obviously, we know Scott's still got the distance to compete at the tour level. Same thing you're talking about, both spins. In Europe, he was pretty good last year. He played a lot of the European tour and was right in the mix. A couple of top fives. I think he's good for disc golf if he can go out there and compete with the big boys. So I got Scott Stokely as my number 5.
It's a good pick. Interesting pick too. I'd love to see him make some noise.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, and I'm rooting for it. So that on top of it. Number 4, I've got Braden Sides. So that's another person I'm starting to follow a little bit on social media. This dude's a player. I mean, he's a super player. He had a 26. He's up to 1019 rated. He had a 26-point jump in the last 11 months. He had 5 wins in 2023, 2 of them A tiers. He had 4 starts on the Pro Tour, cashed in 2 of them, and the dude finished 40th at Worlds. This dude's coming, and he's coming fast. He plays a lot with, I think, with Joseph Anderson. I think it's kind of that little crew together. The kid's good. He's coming. If you don't know who he is, watch for him this year. I think he's gonna do well.
Yeah, I'm glad you picked him. I've heard the name, but I didn't realize how much he was shredding and moving up. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that for sure. I didn't get a point there. I didn't have him. So my number 4, Brody's running mate, Ezra, another guy that has big distance. He has both spins, decent putter. Once again, the right course, he could get a win. I mean, that's what I was looking at. Guys I think potentially could win an event. And I think Ezra has the skills to do it.
Yeah, he's been right there a few other times already. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the dude's a stud.
My number 3, Alden Harris. Surely he's on your list.
I didn't know if you would put him on there.
Oh, wait, I can't. I'm not trying to predict your list. I'm telling you my list. Never mind. But I think, Alden, he won Mid-America last year, a couple years ago. He had some good showings last year. He's good. His Anheuser's, like I said earlier, were the highlight of the accuracy contest to me. They were true accuracy shots and not just throw a disc out and let it fall out of the sky. So I think he could do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, I said in our last episode that he was my, maybe my breakout player of the year. But I just don't know that he's a sleeper. I mean, he's under our 1030 threshold, but I think the dude's already relevant. But yeah, Alden Harris, can't go wrong with that pick at all. My number 3, I've got Sullivan Tipton. Another one of these kids is just getting better every event, it seems like. Had a pretty strong 2023 already. He's really moving up. He's up to like 1025, I think, and finished 12th at USDGC. So this is a kid that's, another one of them freak, got arms 9 feet long. It seems like there's 1,000 of them out there, but he's among the best of them. Yeah,
that's a good pick.
I'm going to take another one of them kids. Might as well be Sullivan Tipton 2.0. But he's just a smaller version of it. I got Evan Scott. I don't know if he's necessarily a sleeper. He falls in our under 1030. But there was a middle part of the year when they were playing all them silver series where that dude was just shredding. He won an event and was in the top 5 multiple other times. So, yeah, these kids are taking over disc golf.
Yeah. And Smitty had that one ish.
I'm taking half a point. I said Aiden Scott, parentheses, Evan Scott. These are the same dude.
They are the same dude. They're the same guy.
We don't know which one's which.
I'm pretty sure they're both short and they both throw it really far and they both putt really well. So
you could put them in a lineup and I couldn't tell you which one was which, but I know they're both good.
Absolutely. Fair enough. I'll give you half a point credit.
Awesome.
It might be enough to win.
Well, yeah,
that's the first point so far.
surely we're going to hit one of them. So it's my turn?
Yeah.
Number 2, Paul Kranz. Last year's Rookie of the Year. First year really on tour. Just did a big, you dirty son of a fuck. So, yeah, I think he'll do some damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ronnie got that one. Not in the right spot, but he did get Paul. He had Paul at 3 for you. So really close. But that's a full point for Ronnie.
Yeah, that kid's good. And I know that you like him and that you follow him a little bit. So I thought you probably have him in there.
Yeah, I like his game and I like his attitude, and I think he's got the desire to be good, and I think he will be good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's really, really good.
And he's learning from a really good player.
Nick Carl.
So. All right, who's your number 1, Smitty?
Parker Welk. Counting him as a sleeper, kind of. I think he did win a tour event last year, which was kind of shocking, but I think he's going to be in the running a lot this year. I just think that dude, the start he has this year, better discs, probably better support, I'm guessing. And he just popped off last year at DDO, and he missed a lot of catches. I don't know if he was injured or what after that. We just didn't hear much from him. I think we're going to hear from him a lot this year. I think he's going to be lead card, chase card a lot.
Yeah, can't disagree. The dude's really good. And that crew he had out there in Arizona with him, I think that we'll see how much that really, hits his overall performance for the year. But obviously, yeah, he's a stud. My number 1, I have Jakub Simmerad. He's playing. Did you get that one right?
He
Not number 1.
He didn't get it right.
Oh,
that was number 5.
Yeah, gotcha. Coming over to play full time over here for the most part. Obviously, if you can put his little 11D putt performance out of mind over there at the whichever one of those, Estonia Open or whichever one it was last year, where he just shuffle putted for what seemed like forever. That kid's good, man. And that's we seem like we say that over and over and over again. That kid's good.
They are all good.
There's so many 25 and unders out there that are just unbelievable. And he's one of them, and he's already pumped up. He's already a dude that's kind of in the mix. He was a European All-Star, top 20 at Worlds. I mean, to call him a sleeper is kind of hard to do. And I kind of left, I said, guys that were under 1030, Welk, Gossage, Hammonds, Jones, I kind of left all them off, Alvin Harris. But yeah, it's just, there's so many good players out there.
Yeah. It was 1030 is really good. And you start looking at that, and you're right. Some of the names on there have won or been in the mix, and like even my first two picks they've been in the mix, but they haven't won. So I looked at it that way, that I guess with the exception of Parker, the dudes that haven't won yet that I think have a legitimate shot at winning. I don't know if Paul's going to win, but I think Paul's going to be a lot of top 15 or 20s.
Yeah, I'm with you. I kind of did the same thing. The only person that I had in my mix that was already a winner was Evan Scott, and it was a silver series. So I kind of took that same model you did.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch these guys and just to see what happens. So
I didn't do the same thing you guys got, but I think Tristan Tanner's going to have a year this year. I think Silas Schultz is another name who's kind of shown some good things. He's only 10-19, who could have a good year too. So you look down that list. I know you guys did your research, but there's just too many. I mean, you could name a whole bunch that's been in the mix before. So I'm really excited for this year for sure.
Yeah, it'd be fun to look at this episode in October and look back at it and see who we picked that did. I mean, we just picked 13 people. See if any of them make noise. I think the score was
1.5 for Smitty.
1.5.
And Ronnie got 1. So
that was making beat me out.
So Smitty knows Ronnie better than Ronnie knows Smitty.
I really thought he'd have Tristan Tanner. I really thought he'd have Tristan Tanner in his mix.
Yeah.
I don't have as much confidence in him as Lucas does. I hope for his sake that he does well. I'd love to see him do good, but we'll have to see.
Yep. I think he's another one that has it sometimes between the ears. I think with a new sponsor, a little bit of a morale boost for him earlier this year. I think he's going to be in a good spot early on. So we'll see how he plays.
Yeah.
Hopefully. All right, boys, let's move into our next section. Straight shooter sessions. And today I'm just going to give you a topic and have y'all just give me your opinion. So we are seeing this more and more because more courses are coming up, and they're not just being thrown in everywhere. People are spending time to really make these courses immaculate. And with that time comes a lot of money, and they want a return on their investment. So we're talking pay-to-play courses. So tell me your opinion on pay-to-play. Do we like it, or is that hurting the sport?
Pretty sure you're about to hear the same thing from two different dudes here. I have zero objections to paying to play a disc golf course that's maintained, well thought out, and has all the amenities you might want. I've got zero problems paying for that, within reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna have the same opinion too. I mean, I know we are because I do. I grew up playing ball golf, so I mean, paying to play golf is not foreign to me, and I think it's the evolution of our sport. And as more of these people, like you said, more of these people that purchase properties and put in courses, high quality courses. If it's a high quality course, I'll pay all day long. I would rather pay $10 or $20 to play a great course than some 18-holer that got stuffed in a 9-hole park for free. I'd rather do that all day long.
Go ahead.
I think Knockwood here in our area is a great example. It's not. I think the yearly pass is like just over $100 or something. It's not a tremendous amount of money if you're going to play it multiple times. I played it probably 10 times last fall. So first time I go out there this year, I'll buy a yearly permit and I'll play the heck out of that thing.
If I recall correctly, it's even cheaper than that. It's like $60.
I think it's like $60, yeah, which is even better, right? I mean,
yeah.
And the cool thing about that is you're not just getting the disc golf course there, you're getting the whole park. So if that's something you're into, it'll be interesting to see what happens in Emporia with Rusco taking over the what used to be the country club, what they call it, Champions Landing now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can't wait to see what EMAC does with that. I'm sure that the flow is going to change and you're going to have more shot shaping involved. And
I hope we have a full redesign coming there, with the exception of the island hole. maybe keep one. A couple of them classic holes, keep them in there. But yeah, I think so too. And yeah, I mean, one of my favorite courses to play, and I'll be out there here in just a couple weeks in Las Vegas. I won't have time this trip, but I try to make time every time I go out there to play Wild Horse. That's absolutely fantastic. And it's like $20. You get a cart. It couldn't be better. I travel to St. Louis all the time. Definitely this spring, I'm going to get a chance to play Eagles. Really looking forward to that. And that's a little bit more of a little more hit to the wallet. I think it's like close to $100 with a cart. But I mean, I don't have a problem paying to play golf as long as the facility's worth it.
Yep.
Yes. Smitty, you mentioned that it needs to be a reasonable price. What do you consider reasonable?
Just what Ronnie's saying, depends on the course. If I was in the St. Louis area and had the time, I would stop and play Eagles Crossing just to say, and I don't know how often I would frequent it if I was in the area, if it's that much, but I like disc golf, but I don't like bologna sandwiches type of deal. Even in Branson, Treehouse, I don't know if it's still there, but that used to be a pay to play, and that was worth the money. The other one there, Branson Trails, I think is what it's called. That you have to get a reservation and you have to pay to do that. And it wasn't very much, and I would pay that every time. That was different kind of disc golf. That wasn't manicured, pretty, awesome fairways, but that was some of the most awesome downhill shots and
the elevation there is awesome. Yep, I think Treehouse is now gone too, unfortunately.
And Treehouse wasn't very expensive. It was like maybe $10.
Yep. Yeah, one thing that I think about when I think of pay to play, the reason that I like it, because I don't mind paying either. I do like when a course is upkept well, but I love not seeing as many people. And that's just me. I don't like someone on my booty all day long, having to let people through all the time. So if I go, I love Oak Park here, but I rarely play it because there's already so many people there always, and they're just on you constantly. And I don't like rushing when I play. I like to just kind of chill. It's like my chill time. And so on the pay-to-play courses, there's usually not as many people, and that's why I like it too.
The busiest course I've ever played in my life was a pay-to-play course. I played Balboa Park, the one in San Diego. Whatever the pay to play, the little one by the zoo is in San Diego. And dude, you played in sixums, and you'd get to the tee and there would be 3 groups waiting. It was all day long getting through there. So I made it 9 holes, and this guy I met out there said, "Hey, you want to go play this other course? There won't be any people there." And I didn't know anybody. I was in San Diego for a week, and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, let's go." He took me to Goat Hill, and we rented a cart and played Goat Hill.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
What is that course in?
It
was super cheap. It was only like $3 to play.
Oh, well, that's not really pay to play. That's kind of the same as Black Hoof. I think it's like $2.
Oh, I forgot that you even had to pay there. Yeah, I think it's just a couple $. I think all I had was a 5. I think I stuck a 5 in there.
Yeah, I
Morley
think
Field.
Morley Field. You've told me about playing there before, actually.
Yeah, Black Hoof has it, so you can also on the U-Disc. There's a PayPal, and you can just PayPal it, which I think is really smart. And I don't think a lot of people offer that.
It is smart. Black Hoof is pay to play, or it is
$2.
I didn't know that.
It's worth it. Worth it. I mean,
well worth it.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
So yeah,
good conversation. Let us move into our next topic, our next segment, the Wheel of Debate. Dun, dun, dun. So the Wheel of Debate, we have topics from last time. Remember, if you have some topics, please let us know. Right now on our list, we have the perfect round, what that actually looks like. We'll get into that if that's one of them. We have super cards, and then bringing back final nines. Let's see what it's going to be. And it's going to be super cards. When we're talking super cards, we're talking about feature cards where it has all of the best players. Is that giving someone an advantage or not? So if you're pro, you like feature cards and you think it's good for the sport. If you're con, you think, hey, it's an advantage because you have all these great players on the same card. And this is going to be for Ronnie because Smitty went last time. Okay, Ronnie. So you do not want feature card or super cards. And Smitty, you're all about them. You've never loved anything more. All right, so we have a minute to debate. Let me get a timer pulled up. Ronnie is going to go first. Speaking of, last time we had votes come in. We only had one vote, but the person that voted chose Ronnie as the debate champion. So Ronnie actually has won something here on the show. All right, he has won the debate.
His mom must have watched.
Thanks, Mom.
Ronnie, you got a minute on the clock. Are you ready, sir?
Let's do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Super cards. Yeah, I'm not about it. I think it's a distinct advantage for those people who are being put in that final pairing, that feature pairing. One, they're allowed to play at a slower pace, right? Giving them more time to actually contemplate their shots. Think about there's not as much of a rushed environment. Two, you're playing with the best players in the field, right? Able to feed off of when they're playing well, right? Maybe you're not stuck with me or something like that in a group going off at 7:00 in the morning. That's one of the other biggest advantages, right? You're not teeing at 8:30 a.m. when the FPO was just cleared the first hole. You get a wait, play when the conditions are, hopefully better, and you get to wait around, not have to get up at 7:00 in the morning.
All right. That's a good one. All right, Smitty, you get to give the counter argument. Are you ready, sir?
Yep.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I don't think I have much to argue here. I think Ronnie made all my points for me. Last thing I want to do is tune into Disc Golf Network on a Saturday morning and watch a bunch of hacks go around the course because they're the last card out, or the local pro who the tournament director puts on the last card for low coverage because he spread some mulch or helped an old lady across the street. I don't care about that. Also, I'm paying for my Disc Golf Network subscription, so I want to see Paul McBeth, Calvin Heimburg, all the big boys duking it out week after week. So, feature cards are the only way to go. I wish that we had more. I wish that we had second card, third card, all the top dogs up there at the top. These guys, 10, 15, 10, 10, they don't have a shot anyhow, so throw them off. Let's just watch feature cards.
Okay. Great debate. Who do you think won? Put it in the comments. Did Ronnie win? Did Smitty win? But now let's hear from the boys on what they actually feel about super cards.
I'm actually kind of somewhere in between. I agree with Chris. Yeah, I'm paying, now even a little bit more for Disc Golf Network every month. So, yeah, I want to see the best players on the planet. But I also think it's a huge advantage to be able to play in those groups. So I don't know how you do it any other way, but I do think that the groups playing in those super cards do get an advantage over the rest of the field.
Yeah, I think until we have more cameras and smaller groups, you're going to have feature cards because that's what we want to watch. If you had the ability to follow a guy on the third card, follow a guy who's hot on the 8th card, more ball golf style, watch the guy who's on, then I think you have better coverage. But the way we do it now, I think feature cards are the only way to really get the most bang for the consumer's buck. But 100% unfair advantage. Weather. Remember super duper rainy condition, they canceled the round. You play the next day when it's not raining because you're the last one out. Des Moines, I think that happened last year. Yep. That's the only time I bet you that those top guys had to get up in the morning and get around and get to the course and get warmed up before their body was ready to go, which is another, super advantage to roll in there at 3:00 and play after you've been awake for hours versus getting up and getting to the course.
Oh.
So I like them, but I do think they're a disadvantage, or excuse me, a huge advantage.
That's my thought too. I didn't think anyone was going to say it, but the time that they play is such an advantage. I am so bad in the mornings. My body's not awake. I move slow. It takes me about half a round a lot of times to even before I start feeling good. So yeah, when you can play at 2 or 3 and you've been up, your body's loose, it's just so much easier. So good points, guys. What do you guys think? You watching? What do you think about supercards? Are they? We have to have them. We're paying for stuff, right? But are they an advantage? Do you not see it as an advantage? Let us know in the comments. Let's jump into our audience questions. We call this segment Courtesy Violation. We only have one question this week, coming from Greg Renfro. And that question is, how do y'all feel about tech discs and the information it gives? Is that information valuable? And for those of you that aren't familiar with what tech disc is, it's a little device that goes on the bottom of the disc that you can throw into a net. It'll tell you the speed that you're throwing, your nose angle, the spin that you're getting, your hyzer angle versus anhyzer angle. And is this information important? What do you guys think?
I've never used one. I've seen them. I've seen people throwing them. I think at this stage of my disc golf career, I'm probably unable to change anything anyhow. I'm probably stuck with what I have, do the best of what I got. And I mean, I've spent 25 years figuring out how to do things the wrong way and make it work. So probably just stick with it.
You know what else can show you how you throw a Frisbee? Watching the Frisbee.
Playing the game.
Do I think it's a cool thing to be able to maybe go do when it's cold outside to get maybe something more out of your reps? Sure. Do I think it's valuable? Not in the slightest. I think it's something some nerd made. And you know, and ooh, look how hard I can throw the Frisbee. Okay. How does that, then why do you still throw it 250 feet? You know, I just don't think it has any value whatsoever.
Do you think
you want it stored with Lamar's javelin? I
just don't. Maybe I'm Debbie Downer on that one, but I just do not.
Do you think it has a little bit more value to someone that's brand new to the sport that could maybe show them a few things early on?
I think it has even less.
I agree. They don't know what positions their bodies are in, and the last thing they need to be worrying about is how much wobble they have right off the bat.
This is far different than a launch monitor in ball golf, right? That does have value because in ball golf you have carry distance, and the reason you're doing that is you're trying to learn carry distances and stuff like that. These things are not advanced enough, far enough to be able to give you that kind of information. Now, if this was a simulator where I threw it into the net and now it transposed an actual flight on a screen for me, now all of a sudden I'm getting a little bit of value out of it, right? But what it is right now, just giving me some readings of speed and nose angle and all. I only had 0.4 degrees of wobble. I must throw it really flat. Okay, and what does that mean? I just don't. I just don't get the value out of it. I just don't see that it's really helping you, and even less so for newer players. Because one, do they even know how to decipher the information that's being given? And two, are they manipulating the way? What are they doing to manipulate the numbers? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I think the simulation is an awesome idea. We just need another nerd to make that one.
Hey, nerds make the world go round, man.
It's true. I'm all about it. So yeah, good topic. Good topic.
No offense, nerds.
Yeah, we need you. And I'm a nerd when it comes to disc golf. So we all nerd for something, right?
Fair.
All right, let's get into our last topic of the episode. weekly picks with 3 S's. Let's talk about our last week's. Well, we're really not going to get into last week too much, right? Other than Smitty picking Catrina, which was the worst pick on earth, he definitely had the worst week. Agreed?
Oh yeah,
Fair.
I'll take that. I'll take it. It was a bad week for me.
He was fine.
Yeah, let's get into this.
Yeah, so we're going
into a real tournament.
A real tournament. We're going to find a shine, a stink, and a sleeper for the chess.com Invitational. So here we go, boys. I'm going to start us off with the shine. And you know who's going to shine? Chris Dickerson. After that blow up at the end, he plays well in the woods. I think he is going to shine this week.
Me next?
Yep.
Yeah.
I won't do this every week, I promise you, boys, but I'm taking Vinny. I think this I'll get on somebody else next week, all right? But this dude, man, so many just straight, far shots that throw down the mountain, and I think that's Vinny. I think he's probably going to win.
Whoa.
Oh, calling it. Got it. I'm going to throw out his last 4 holes of the weekend. Other than that, the guy was a superstar. I'm going to take what may be the best player in the world right now, Isaac Robinson.
Yep.
I think he does everything that Calvin does. I think they're very, very similar players, actually. Except the dude just seemingly never misses a putt that matters. So
that's right.
That's who I'm going with.
Pick. That's a great pick. And he throws so much farther than people give him credit for. Yeah, he was putting a move on the disc all weekend.
I like it. So I'm a big Robinson fan.
My pick, huh?
Yep. Sleeper or stinker?
I'm going to go sleeper. Benjamin Callaway.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, well, just another one of those guys that can throw laser beams, and I think that's what it's going to take at this course. He's a good putter. He can throw both spins like all the rest of them, I guess. That's something we don't even need to say anymore. But, yeah, the guy's fantastic at disc golf. And now what could be a disadvantage for him is he lives in Iowa, and it's probably been miserable there for months. Years, decades, centuries.
Forever. You or me, Lucas?
Go ahead.
Sleeper. I'm gonna call upon the old guy, Kale LaVisca. I think this is a little bit of a Kale style golf course. There's some long stuff, obviously, that you probably need, but I think straight's going to really help. And he can keep it straight. And you talk about a guy who doesn't miss in the circle much, ain't going to kill himself for the most part. I think the old guy is gonna bring one for the MP40 crew and show these kids a little bit, maybe even a top 5.
Wow. Okay. I think that's a terrible pick, but I like how much enthusiasm you have with it. You really went for it. I have someone that's probably borderline on the sleeper side of things, but he maybe hasn't had the best tournaments lately. But I'm going James Conrad. We know he's good in the woods. We know he can putt like crazy. Another laser beamer. So James Conrad, I think, is going to have a good tournament.
Talk about terrible picks.
Shoot, just wait.
Is he even in the field?
Yeah, he is. He's 10-20 something rated. Guarantee he finishes higher than both your stupid sleepers.
Ooh, what are we betting?
I smell a bet.
Yeah, Texas Roadhouse. Let's say, Smitty, you get last. You're paying for both me and Ronnie.
No, because you're the one that wanted to bet against us. We didn't bet.
I'm just saying, let's hang out, guys. This is how I try to hang out with you guys. I have to make bets to hang out with you.
I mean,
yeah,
if you need someone to talk to you at night, just give me a call.
All right, man. I just need some friends, okay?
So All we have is your guy has to beat both of our guys, or you're taking us. That's it.
Yeah, look, that's fine. That's fine.
Perfect.
Come on. Let's go, James.
Be my second free Roadhouse of the year.
All
right.
This one will be a little easier to earn.
You're going to see. You're going to see.
Right.
All right. Do your stinker, Ronnie.
My stinker. I think I'm going to really surprise you with who my stinker is here. My stinker, Simon Lizotte.
That's my stinker. I agree, 100%.
Wow. Well,
doesn't seem like a Simon style course. Like he's good enough to play on all courses, right? I think we know that, but hasn't been around. I don't know. It's just a feeling. And
I agree. His last video, he hit so many trees. The casual, he was playing some league and he played terrible. Simon terrible, of course.
Plus, I feel like it's the biggest room for judging what a stink is, right? I mean, when he's the second or third best player on the planet, if he finishes 15th, that's a stink for Simon. So I don't know. I just get a feeling that Simon's not gonna be the Simon we're used to. I think he's gonna maybe not have the best weekend.
Smitty, what's a stink for you? For Simon?
Well,
I'm just saying if Simon finishes 15th, you said it's not a stink. Where does he have to finish to not?
I think top 15 is pretty solid. Still, I mean, it's the best players in the world. And it's a big field.
So 20.
Top 15 makes the cut in our Survivor League.
That's fair.
That's true. That's fair.
Well, I think he could finish far south of that. I mean, I'm just not feeling Simon this weekend.
I agree he won't be in the mix for the win, but I think he'll beat a lot of people. My guy's not going to beat very many people. He's not even going to cash. Chandler Kramer.
My guy's a chump to begin with.
He's 10-30 something, I think.
Is he really? I quit disc golf.
I mean,
he's going open bag this year. Doesn't that scare you?
10-22 for Chandler.
That's good.
Pretty good.
But he's not going to be able to flick his way around that course. He's going to have to throw backhands to compete, I think.
That's a good call. Well, I don't think he can. Can he?
I've never seen a single one except for
I've never seen him throw one.
So
yeah, that may end up being a really, really good pick. But I mean, what's he usually finish though? Like, what's an average finish for him? That's a tough one to gauge for a stink. If he
doesn't make the money,
if he misses cash, I think that's good.
Yeah, if he doesn't make the money, that's a stink. It's hard to make the cash now on Pro Tour events. I mean, it's hard. I think I saw something towards the end of last year, some statistic in the changes, how the Pro Tour has been where it was like 5 years ago, what you need to average to make the money to what it is now. And I think the average to make the money now is like 10-25 or something like that is what you have to average for the weekend to get into the money.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. That's good disc golf. Still,
that dude, the dude played 29 events last year, missed cash 8 times. Missed cash at Vegas, which was early in the year. Missed cash at Waco, which was also early in the year. And then he went over to the European Open at some point here. Where's that at? Oh, yeah, maybe that's not a terrible. Maybe that's a bad stink. He had some bad stuff. But USDGC, 22nd. Worlds, 22nd. Great Lakes
He's a
Open,
legitimate player.
22nd.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't think he'll cash, though.
Yeah, it sounds like he cashed like 70% of the time. So that's pretty good.
And
pretty good out there.
Yeah.
If there's a cut, he probably won't make the cut.
All right. I like it. Now that I thought about it, I like it. So we also have our Survivor League, boys. So that's starting this week. I have got everyone's picks in. Before I show you everyone else's picks, I'm going to have you give me your picks. So
all right.
Remember, for the Survivor League, We have 15 people playing with us. The person that we pick, once we choose them, we can no longer pick them the rest of the year. If they finish top 15, we survive and we move on to the next tournament. If they don't finish top 15, we're out. So we'll start with Ronnie. Ronnie, who you got?
I am going to take Mr. Kyle Klein.
Ooh. Okay, I will say that is the only Kyle Klein pick this week, unless Smitty did it.
I did not.
He's sneakily the fifth or sixth ranked player in the world.
He's awesome.
He's really good.
I love him. So I'm right with you.
Do I even need to show my paper or show my hand? Is it
Calvin? Vinny. Okay. Yep. You pick him in everything. So
hey, I get him once.
Win? Yep.
I'm going to week 2, baby.
You are,
and that's what this thing's about, right? This thing's just about getting to the next week.
Exactly. You are the 5th person to pick Calvin. I'll say that.
I figured he'd be a popular pick.
Now, I will tell you my person no one picked either, Ronnie. So, and I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing. Probably not a good thing, but it's my shine as well. It's Chris Dickerson. I think he's going to play well this week. It's just a feeling I have.
Boy.
All right. So real quick, let me show you everyone else's picks. Ooh, that's cool looking. All right. So Greg picked Simon. Cooey picked Calvin. Ed picked Garrett Girthy.
See, Ed.
Good playing with you, Ed. PayPal,
Honestly,
Cash App, however you want to pay.
That's actually what I said to him. I said, yeah, go ahead and here's my PayPal. Go ahead and send me your money now so I can take it. Dixon chose Calvin. Nick chose Ezra Robinson.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's scary. Blake chose Calvin. Nick chose Matty O. Tyson chose Calvin. My lovely wife chose Simon. Patsy chose Matty O. Loff chose Cole Redalen.
Sorry, Andrew.
Yeah, see you, dude. Maybe. Yeah, he might finish 15th. And Schmidt chose Simon as well. So those are the picks.
So my main takeaway from this is how much of idiots are we that nobody picked Isaac Robinson?
Yeah, we're saving him.
It's a scary thing to do, to try to save somebody, because you can't get to the next week. But
I know.
I almost took Calvin just for that reason.
I'm confident he's going to be in the top 15. I think Greg, like you guys got me thinking Greg might be in trouble, and everybody that went Simon.
Yeah. I truly don't think he's going to have a good week. Obviously, I did not help Kendra with her pick.
If Garrett Girthy wins, Ed can come to Texas Roadhouse with us.
Seriously. Yeah, that is a bold first pick.
So we got Vinny, Kyle Klein, and who did you have, Lucas?
Dickerson.
So I'm going to be honest. Is there anybody in that group outside of Calvin Heimburg you're like, oh, automatic?
I mean, I think
Isaac not just there. Our group, but all of these picks.
No.
Outside of the Heimburgs I think maybe Klein is the next closest automatic.
Well, I don't know.
But man,
usually you would always say Ricky, but after his performance, I'm like, I don't even know if I like him.
Well,
Rick
I heard him say on
last year too.
I heard him say on the broadcast that Rick was going to go home.
Oh, is he not even playing?
No, I think he's playing. Maybe he's on the list, but I think he's doing the all-star thing, and then he's going to go home, and then he's going to come back. Now he's flying, so it's not that big of a deal. But I don't want to be in an airport 2 days out of a week-long stretch.
And I say all that, but here's another one I was surprised at today. What do you think Matty O's rating is?
He's a 1040 guy.
Yeah, he's in the 1044. That's my guess.
He's almost 1050.
Okay, he's better than
1047 for Matty.
I mean, he's great. He's
crazy. I mean,
he's sneaky.
And it's kind of a Matty O style course, I guess. There's and of course Ezra. I mean, we all just said that dude's, really great. And if his brother wasn't Isaac Robinson, maybe he'd get a little more credit. But yeah, there's some. How many? Here, okay, here we go. Over under. We have 8.5 contestants left for week 2. Oh no, wait, we have 15. 10.5 contestants.
Let me look at these picks. He's gone.
Well, Ed's gone, so we're down.
I'm going to say
that's a crazy pick.
I'm going to say over. I'm going to say over. But you know how good I am at this.
I think we'll have. We got 3 Simons there. I still think Simon will be in the top 15, maybe. How confident was that?
Definitely,
yeah.
maybe.
I think that's a good line, Ronnie. I think you picked the.
Isn't that exciting though too? That we have no
absolutely.
That is so good for the sport. Like when you don't know, you don't have a clue. That is so fun. I'm so excited to watch this weekend.
Yep, it's going to be fun.
I think
I don't have anything going on. There you have it.
All right. Well, let's end our show with a nice little video. We're going to show a little video of something that we talked about in our podcast on the Wind Dummies podcast, but a pretty crazy putt that we're all calling definitely came to rest. But give us your opinion in the comments on if you think this is legal or not. And other than that, gentlemen, it's been a blast. Can't wait for next week. We're going to be right back at this every Tuesday after an event. We're going to drop a new episode. So after chess.com, be prepared for another one. We drop one right after that. So any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Give these guys something to debate, something to give their opinion on. They have so many opinions they want to give them. Make sure
You're
you
always right.
Every time. You saw somebody's Catrina pick. All right, gentlemen. Anything else that you'd like to say before we head on out of here?
If you made it this long to watch the whole show, I really do appreciate it. I know that I have a blast talking to these 2 knotheads, and hopefully we can make your 90 minutes of viewing give you a few giggles and lighten your day up a little bit.
Yeah, same. Appreciate everybody who does take the time to watch. Can't wait to do it again. I mean, the season's here. It's on us now. Next time we're here, baby. We're talking about a real tournament.
Oh, yeah, it's on. All right, everyone, take care. Bye-bye now.
Okay, wait. Very interesting. I heard the cheers. I thought maybe someone had thrown in for an ace on one of the short holes.
Dude, look at this thing.
Love to get to see this.
The wind was just perfectly coming.